uh,
Sorry about
most
that.
people don't know. No, you're
Ooh,
good. Most
yeah.
people don't know what they want, and so it's hard to please them. And so I think one of the reasons why the book is taken off is because it's speaking to that larger share of people that just don't sell a lot, because if you call a prospect and I'm trying to make them happy, hey, checking to see if you had any questions, they always say no, and then you just don't know what to do. So that's the phenomenon that we're working towards, and hopefully we can apply it to your real Synch user base a little bit, as far as using some of the tools that you guys offer to generate opportunities and surface them.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we get into the nitty gritty, and
Yeah.
guys, Barry's going to go through our topic today, of course, which is trying to get some value in life out of your database that you've already, all the leads that you've already generated, right? And how can we maximize those? But before we get into that, and then after that, obviously we're going to go around and just talk, and there's and just mastermind. We have a small group, which makes it inducive to do that. Just give us a little bit more about your background, man. How long you've been in real estate, what market you're in, like when it comes to that, and then how you transition to like almost training in a sense.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sure, no problem. So I started when I was 18. I'm 42 now, so I don't even know what the math is, but that's a long time. And the around 2011, I had a really good chance with REOs, and Zillow started to hit hard. And so I did 120 homes by myself that year. I was miserable, working too much, and didn't have any assistants or anything. And anyway, I built a team. And so then around 2016, I started to gain opportunities with technology companies that were collaborating. I was building a lot of stuff, and they came to me. One of them was Ylopo. They ended up hiring me. And so since 2016, I've had two full-time jobs. I'm a senior executive at Ylopo, making the product with the owners, G and Howard. And then also, I'm the chief marketing officer of a Better Homes and Gardens brokerage in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And we just bought a brokerage around the corner from us with like 35 agents. Normally we do about 900 units a year. And we just acquired a brokerage. And so now we'll have around 95 to 100 agents. So I'm excited to see what we do with them next year. But that's what I've been doing, is onboarding them. And so anyway, all that time at Ylopo, I was teaching the same stuff. And so people always acted like it was really helpful. And so I took the stuff that I taught Ylopo customers and I wrote a book. And that's where the book came from, is all that experience.
Is that the Too Nice for Sales book?
Yeah.
Perfect. I just ordered it.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate the support. It's like a 2-hour read. It's a bunch of stories. So I knew as an agent, I'm not in a place, I've got young children and all that other stuff where I can just sit and spend 6 hours reading a book on sales. But I knew if I packed a story into 2 hours that the readership would be super high. So hopefully you enjoy it.
Sweet. Love it. Look at Ron.
What we do is we do these book of the month clubs with our agents.
Yeah.
So this will be just one of our books of the month. So you'll probably get like 20 sales.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, actually, that's been one of the more popular use cases for the book, is team owners and broker owners having their agents read it. Because if you can learn, and what I'm going to share with you guys on this database stuff, actually, Eric and I think it was a Tom Ferry conference, we're talking about this a little bit. But if you can get a database, you can monetize that database with some of these processes. And case in point, I just brought on 30 agents. They all want opportunities. And so I went to my family, and I own our brokerage. And so I said, let's not send them a bunch of leads yet. They got a 100,000 person database. Let's at least run that for 3 to 4 months. I can make a lot pop off of it. And I'm driving our opportunity costs down. That revolutionizes everything, because normally when you bring on agents, you've got all these, marketing expenses and lead costs, and then you've got to train them. But if I'm able to take what they already have and make money off of it, it's a huge win as a business owner for several reasons. But and I think that over the next 5 to 10 years, agents that do build a large database that monetize it, they're going to be the ones that continue to maintain that leverage off of Zillow and Realtor.com. Because if Zillow gets what they want, they're putting all their money into a super app, and the super app is going to allow them to schedule the showing, do all the financing. It kind of almost does that, but it's not intuitive at all, to where the agents involved are just door openers. And so now they're able to relegate your role in the process to an employee. And but I think those of us that have brand recognition in our own local markets, we're going to be the ones that maintain those relationships. So I've got about 250,000 people in my Follow Up Boss, just under, maybe 230, something like that. But and it's because Howard, that owns Ylopo, has been like drilling this into my head since 2016. I had 5,000 people in 2016. And he's like, you got to build this fishbowl and be relevant to these people. Yeah, it definitely makes me sleep better at night, knowing that I've got this massive database that I can leverage no matter what the lead gen providers are doing.
Yeah, that's a large database, man. Especially
and Google Contacts too. Like what to Real Sync. I don't know. Are any of you guys using their Google Contact Sync yet? Yeah. So that, to me, that was actually when Scott and I were talking about, like, oh, what should we train on? I'm like, oh, one of my favorite things is database. And I was like, hey, by the way, you guys have this really cool feature. And, to be able to go in. So not all marketing companies can do this, but dynamic remarketing was invented in 2016 by Facebook. And what Facebook does is analyzes the consumer's behavior and then shops in their product catalogs. Well, the reason why Ylopo got popular really quickly by Facebook and everybody else is because Ylopo was like, man, that's killer tech. I wonder if we can upload the MLS every morning into a product catalog. Facebook was used to like every 4 months, your new shoes get uploaded from Nike. And we're like, can we do this every day? And now Boomtown can do it, Commissions Inc., Sierra. So this isn't only Ylopo technology anymore, but to be able to take your MLS and analyze the consumer's behavior. Well, some digital marketing firms can actually take the email address of the lead and or the phone number of the lead and see if it matches a Facebook account. So when you have your Google Contacts, this is everybody you're emailing back and forth. If your phone call history is being uploaded into Google Contacts, all of those phone numbers can all go into a remarketing audience. And the marketing firm that you hire to do this can exclude people that have real estate agent in their job description. So now, because you've got agents calling you for showings and all, unless you're focused on recruiting, you don't really want that remarketing activity. So they can exclude that title from your remarketing. And so I don't know about you guys if you've ever checked, but I think I've got like 50,000 in my Google Contacts. I did the same thing with LinkedIn, by the way. So I grew my LinkedIn to 20,000. I did a mass export of all those contacts, uploaded them into my Follow Up Boss, right? So this is how I grew. There used to be a cool tool. This is why you got to capitalize on this Google Contacts thing, because for 4 years, every time an agent joined my team, am I going too fast, Scott? Or is this what
No, you're doing great, dude.
Okay.
I hope you're recording this, Scott.
I'm recording it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll post it as well in the private Facebook group.
When Facebook used to have a hole in their software where every time one of my agents joined my team, they connected their personal Facebook, not their business page, not their Facebook groups, their personal Facebook account. And we sucked all of their name, email, and phone numbers out of Facebook into Follow Up Boss. So that's no longer available. Facebook shut that down. They don't allow it anymore. LinkedIn still allows it. They make it really hard. You got to jump through a bunch of settings and all that stuff. And it's hard to do it. Fortunately, Google hasn't made any of those types of changes. And so you really want to obsess about building out this database and having it in a CRM that you can market to. Because now my opportunity costs that I'm going over with you guys, when I'm remarketing, for every 50 1,500 people that I remarket to, it costs me about like $1.50 a person, where I'm able to run ads. The person sees the ad and does something significant on my website. Now, Ylopo is not going to tell you it's $1.50 a person. That's how no marketers do that. I'm just doing raw math of I spent X amount of money on remarketing ads, and I had X amount of times where people came to my website, and I just did the rough math. It cost me about $1.50. And the only thing better than a new lead, and this is really important, is an old lead that's still looking for something. And so what I found is by bringing all these people into my database, running ads to all of them, the people, like if I were to show you guys, let me load. So I happen to use Follow Up Boss, but you can do this with lots of other CRMs. Trying to be Switzerland with this stuff. I'm not sharing my screen just yet because I wanted to make sure that I had a Follow Up Boss open. All right, here we go. Are you okay if I share my screen, Scott?
Of course. Yeah, please.
Scott's like, I don't care what you do. All right. So, here's the created, right? And here's last site visit. So when I sort my database off of last site visit, I'm going to do new to old. So this is the most recent. So 8 minutes ago. Wait, no, that's okay. So when I scroll this, what I want you to start seeing. So like, here's one from 2019 that was on my website 27 minutes ago, right? And that's not that unusual. 2018, an hour ago. And what I can do is I can really start to get this, I'll say was less than, we'll say, so they've been on my website over the last 7 days. And then I'll sort old to new. The oldest, were computers invented in 2002? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, 4 days ago, somebody from 2002, 2011, 2012. This is a cash cow. You can scale your business off of this, okay? And so what I'm advocating that you guys do is obsessively collect as many name, email, and phone numbers, run ads to them, and there's a really easy way to monetize this as a business owner. What I do is I use Ponds. So I like Ponds for a few different reasons, but I've got a really large sales team now. And so one of the things that the larger you get, I like manufacturing scarcity. So when people feel like they have plenty and you're assigning the leads directly to them, they can take their time. It's not that they don't try, it's that they get the lead and they're like, all right, well, I'm grocery shopping, let me get back to my desk after I put my groceries away, and then I'll call that lead, right? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I kind of want them a little bit nervous because I'm going to get more out of them. It's better for them, it's better for me. So what I do is all my new opportunities is I put them in a pond and I give everybody access to that pond. It's like a file folder. We call that our Shark Tank. Our ISAs work out of the Shark Tank. Our agents work out of the Shark Tank. And what I did was I created a list and I told all my agents, start every day with list number 1. So let me go back. So what I do is I say, every day, I want you to start with list number 1. You can see I made the numbers all pretty, and all they do every day is they just go through these lists. And the reason why they're able to do this so efficiently is if you look at the filters of what list number 1 is looking for, there's that Shark Tank I told you guys about, right? So list number 1 is only looking for leads in the Shark Tank, and Live Transfer Pond is kind of like an extension of that. But look at this. Last communication was more than 2 days ago. So when they're working in list number 1, they don't have to see, did anybody call recently? Did anybody, text recently? They just see a person that's in an unconverted stage. I don't know why buyer's there. It's weird. Anyway, but then what I do is after 21 days, a tag is added in my drip campaigns that adds a tag. And what I do is, let's see. So here's an example. So on day 21, this tag is added. And as long as there's no important tags from Ylopo that mean like, hey, this is a hot lead, you better call it, we send the lead to the storage pond. Now, this is really important. New leads go to the Shark Tank. Day 21, a storage pond tag is added. Follow-up boss looks for that tag, and anytime it's added, it says as long as nothing important has happened on the lead, automatically reassign it to the storage pond. But then I did the opposite. If any important things have happened, like a Y priority tag, like anything that indicates, oh, wow, this is a good lead. And that's different for all of us, but that's what it's looking for as an example. Then it puts it in the priority pond. Now, why am I going after that? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, so what are some of the activities that you would consider like high priority, and then ones that would be like, all right, this is low priority, it's going in the storage pond?
Yeah. So anything that indicates, so for us, Y priority tag for us represents about 30 significant actions: saved a home, shared a home, requested a showing, looked at the same house over and over again, was silent for a while, but came back. All these different, it's all based off of IDX behavior. All right. And so those are a few of the examples. But if they have a Y priority tag, then they go into what we call the priority pond. Now, this is why I'm going over all this, is because I wanted to go over the priority pond. So now I've got a list, and it's my second list, and you can see there's 719 people in this list number 2. This is for all my agents. We haven't spoken to them in the last day. They've been on our website in the last 3 weeks. The phone number was never marked bad, and it's in the priority pond. This is what I think Real Synch has an opportunity for all of us, is to have a list like this, to where you're pulling in this database and all the people. I mean, look, like there's something wrong with this person. They've looked at 786 homes. Like what are they doing? This person has saved 34 houses, 25 houses, 22 houses, 20 houses, 19. And so, you know, and these are people that are really active, and they're really using our website. So I'm able to have my agents come on. I'm able to bring 30 agents on and just plug them into what I'm already doing. I don't need to buy more leads for them, because I've got list number 1 with new leads, but where I really want them to focus on is list number 2, which is all my old leads that are keep coming back. And you notice the new lead pond was filtering for 2 days. The old lead pond is filtering for 1 day. Nobody's tried to call them, because I want to increase the number of calls and texts. And this is how you can build a really large team without increasing your expenses significantly, is make what you have work more effectively for your business, because you're still creating opportunities. They just look different. And Zillow and Realtor.com taught us as an industry to need new leads. Like that's where, like, this whole concept as a real estate agent is, let's focus on the new lead notification. All of our automations, everything was based off of that, until it got too expensive to scale large off of them. And so now we had to say, okay, is there a different kind of opportunity we can monetize? And I said this to Eric when I was at Tom Ferry. I said, what we do is we bring them back to our website. And guys, this is literally our script. You personify an administrator. You're not trying to sell anything. You just say, hey, this is Barry with Better Homes and Gardens. You've been in our system a while, and we're cleaning up our database. I didn't see in the notes if you ever found a home, and I figured I'd just call and check before I archived your file. That's it. That's our list number 2 script. Now, the magic of this is you're doing a temperature check on someone whose behavior shows you that they're interested. You already know they're interested. You just want them to admit it. A third of the time the person answers the phone for our team, in that scenario, it's an appointment, because the person says a third of the time they're still looking, and we say, oh my gosh, you've been in here since 2017. Why haven't you found what you're looking for? They tell us why, and then we say, okay. And then all roads lead to either one of 2 appointments: lender or buyer consult at the office, or seller appointment. I guess you could say either of those, but most of them are buyers. And that's it. That's all we do. It's really, really easy. And so the key for you guys is accessing the database. And I think and what I would do is I would just create a Google Contacts pond at first to try to clean up the data. Because at first it's going to be really weird. You're going to have a lot of phone numbers with no names. It's not going to be pretty at first. And you just have to figure out how to either normalize the data. That's like a fancy term that data engineers use. But like,
normalize.
Yeah, like you could do a search. Let's say you had 50,000 people and 20,000 of them don't have any names. All right, well, you could either remove those people if you want. I wouldn't, but you could. You could export them, and then you could send them to somebody that can augment the data that you have. Hey, give me the names and the email addresses of all these phone numbers. Okay, out of 20,000, they might have 10. You could leave them all in there and wait for them to register on your website because you're running ads to them. But yeah, that's how this stuff works, guys. It's this is what the big boys do that don't have Zillow Flex. So we elected not to go after Zillow Flex in our market just because what they wanted was so drastic. Our entire business would have to focus on it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we had a lot of other stuff that we were doing, and we just didn't want to make the changes that would be needed and build out departments the way that are needed. But this is what the big boys do. Zillow is a master at this. The amount of data they have on your clients is alarming, because Zillow has a better brand recognition, not just in real estate, but in they're like top 3 in America for brand recognition. They're up there with like Coca-Cola, Harley Davidson, Starbucks. They really do have the consumer's attention. And so we need to create our own environment where we have that data and we can weaponize it for good, not for evil. But, yeah,
I like it. Good versus evil. Yeah. Yeah.
Any questions about that or thoughts or?
I have a question. So you bring in a new agent.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to their Google Contacts and uploading it up to your YLOPO?
Yeah. With any of their database, we're uploading. For some of them that either care about their database or see value in it, what we do is we create a pond. So we can have as many ponds in our CRM as we want. And so we'll create a pond that only they can access. And so I think before the merger, because I'm not, I'm in the middle of like hell week with bringing all of them on, but I think we had maybe like 10% of our agents really got the vision of their own database and all that stuff. And we wanted to respect that. And so we create a pond that only they have access to, but we upload it to our remarketing. And then anytime their leads, I call remarketing radar, because we all know that even our most loyal clients start looking many times before they call us. They're casually searching on Google. Well, to have radar out there with ads to where these people in your database don't know that you know what they're doing, that actionable intelligence is very valuable. Because you might have 1,000 people in your CRM right now, but if you could sift it down to 30 people that are behaving like interested buyers or sellers based off of their website activity on your website, that's very, very valuable information. Another service I use is Revaluate. It's very expensive, but I'm able to take what they think, how likely someone is to move. And right now, I think I've got 2,000 people that their AI is saying, hey, they're likely to move. And what I tell my agents, I'm like, look, here's a list of 2,000 people. And when we sift these 2,000 people to find the ones that we have their home address, I think it's like 700 of them. We have their home address. I know what I would do with that information. And if I was an agent, I would mail them things. I would drop off stuff at their house. So it's all about having that data.
Yeah. Lay in their driveway until they leave.
Something.
Yeah.
Something. It's basically, that's what SmartZip was. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah.
It was like, they'll move soon. And that's not that expensive to tell you that, but we're going to help you market to it. And for that, we're going to charge you. It's like really expensive. And so it's basically creating your own smart zip, you know.
Dude, that's great. I love
Are
that.
any of you guys doing this kind of stuff with your databases at all? That like Eric or John or Jason or Ron?
We just started with Fellow, but
Okay.
Brivity has something that we can see who's doing stuff, but I'm not doing enough remarketing.
Yeah.
I'm doing it with
Absolutely.
Boomtown.
Okay. Yeah. Boomtown has this tech.
Yep.
Yep.
So I $400 a month retarget to past leads, videos and ads.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Jason, are you doing-
What ads are you doing with yours? I just came in late, so I might have missed
Yeah.
that. But what ads are you using?
DARE, so dynamic ads for real estate. So it analyzes their website behavior. If they're looking for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home on the east side of town for 500,000, Boomtown should be able to go into your MLS and find homes that match that search criteria and
Mhm.
push it into their newsfeed. So that's a dynamic ad. I don't know what Boomtown
Got it.
calls it.
Yeah, it's dynamic. You're right. Mhm.
Okay. And then the video ads should play second fiddle to the dynamic ads. The dynamic ads will always be more expensive. Okay. The ones for the houses. But I can spend about $250 on Ylopo and reach 5,000 to 6,000 people watching my 15-second videos. And John, you might have missed it, but my background, I've been a full-time executive at Ylopo since 2016. So I'm very biased with, you know, where I'm spending my money, but you might have missed that when I started. So I just want to make sure I said that to you. But the videos, the 15-second videos, nobody's going to call you and say, hey, I saw the commercial with the puppy with the red ribbon. Will you hire me? But it's like Gary Vee used to say, like jab, jab, right hook. You know, you want to have that constant presence, and 15-second videos are by far and away the best way to reach a large number of people.
Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then with Boomtown, you should be able to filter based off of what does Boomtown call it when the lead does something important? It's not a magic moment. That was Curator. Something else when they trigger an alert or something.
It's now.
Okay, now.
They're now. Yeah, now. I think is what you're referring to.
It's exactly right. So basically what I'm telling you and advocating is to bring in as many people in your Boomtown and then operationalize all of the old leads that have that now heading on or whatever.
Right. Okay.
I feel like Boomtown and Brivity, they have some sort of smart lists or similar type things as ponds. Is that or
They
no?
do. They have ponds and they have smart lists. They're not called smart lists, but you can create lists of leads. I think it's on the left-hand side that like the filters and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So you want to operationalize that. And it's funny. Do you have agents on your team, John, or is this just for you?
Just one.
Okay. Well, numbering your filters has had such a profound impact for my agents, because now it's not just about I found lists to find good leads. It's I found lists, I'm numbering them to give them a workflow. And just that has increased the amount of time my agents spend following up with leads by between 20 to 30% on any given month, because now they don't have to think pragmatically anymore.
Right.
And so adding a filter, I don't know what it would be in Boomtown, but let's say you created a list for all your old leads that have that now highlight on them. And then you also filter, don't show my agent anybody that you've tried to communicate with via calling or texting in the last 4 days. So now they're not reading because they're reading the notes to find out if they should read or call the lead.
Right.
And so you're avoiding that whole phenomenon by filtering for that. So they just kind of turn and burn, which is what you need them to do.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, because salespeople will get in their own way. They'll think like, oh no, this was just talked to, you know, and like only the few will say, I don't care, I'll call them, even if they were called 10 minutes ago, because I want to get this business, right? But most won't do that.
Well, and most nice agents will call these old leads and say, calling to see if I can answer any questions or help you.
Right.
That is the wrong script.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing, nice people want certainty. Nice agents, they want to call leads that know what they need so that I can just make you happy. Would you like fries with that? It's like a very transactional, very waiter waitress type environment. I'm calling to find, does anybody know and is aware of the fact that they need my services? And my argument, and the reason why I wrote the book, is to say, what if nice people could talk to the person that doesn't know what they want yet and create a need to be involved in the course of that conversation? So instead of calling these leads, I've already given you the script of what we do to surface opportunity, but we don't ask these leads, what kind of home do you want? Because they normally say some form of, I'm not sure yet. And so what we do is we take it away. We say, look, I know you're not ready. I'd love to hear what you want to change about where you live right now. They're certain on what annoys them, right? So I've given them a different way to have certainty that doesn't involve them placing an order to go look at a house. This new certainty is, tell me what you don't like. You're going to be very surprised with leads from Google and Facebook. They love this question. Like, if you don't read my book and you just use this question, you'll make money. I guarantee it, because leads will talk to you. Another one, we don't ask a lead that's from Google or Facebook, have you been pre-approved? I want to talk about it, but I'm avoiding these certainty questions. What we do is we say, do you happen to have a friend in the mortgage business? And they say yes or no. And then we just say, well, let me tell you why I'm asking. So now I can broach we don't ask them, do you have an agent? We say, have you had a chance to look at homes with an agent? You see how it's just, the questions change. I'm not looking for certainty anymore. I'm looking for confusion, ignorance, fear, misinformation. So when I'm asking these questions, these issues arise, and that's my moment to become their teacher. And as soon as your agents become the teacher, that's when they've won over the relationship. And now the next time they call, the lead will actually answer. And if you compare this to what most agents are doing, most agents are so focused on making everybody happy that they try to become like fake best friends over the phone.
Right.
And they connect over really, you from the area? Oh, yeah. Oh, you shop at Harris Teeter as well? Oh my gosh, I love that grocery store. And they write these dumb notes, right? And the lead never answers again. And it's because I don't even have time for my real friends. Why do I want to talk to the strange realtor that wanted to become friends with me? And so we're focused on the wrong thing as nice people. We're focused on pleasing, and top agents that work their sphere, they can do that. They just wait for their sphere to come to them and say, can you help me? Yes, how can I help you? But most agents don't have that big sphere yet. And that's why digital marketing is such an important part of the equation.
Dude, some gems right there, buddy. I like it. I like it.
So those of us that are not complete digital marketers, live this every day, do all that, who are you following? Who are you listening to? Or are you just hiring this all out? Or did you hire a guy on your staff to go, here, come and help me do all this junk?
Well, I mean, I help make the product for Ylopo. Like, that's my job. I work with the product managers, and they, like, I'm the subject matter expert for the real estate industry, and so I'm making it. So I'm the wrong guy to ask. If I was you, what I would do is I would interview. Let's see. So there's Chime, Boomtown, Sierra Interactive, Commissions Inc., and Ylopo. Ylopo invented dynamic ads for real estate, but since that 2016, now there's like 4 or 5 other companies that do it. And so what I would recommend you do is, what CRM are you using right now?
Brivity.
I don't know if Brivity does dynamic remarketing. You'll just have to ask them, say, I want to dynamically send listings into their Facebook newsfeed. And then you list off those companies I named and say they can do it. What do you guys do for that? Because they might call it something else. You know, all these companies, everybody has their own name. So Brivity does have a marketing department. That's why you're able to get leads. So what you want to do is dive deep on the topic of remarketing. That's what we're talking about. And if Brivity doesn't have dynamic remarketing, just that alone is reason to leave. I'm just being upfront with you.
Okay.
And I know you want to change CRMs like you want a hole in your head, but I'm just being honest with you. So you need to find out about that. Now, look, who's the guy that started Brivity? I forgot his name right now.
Ben Kinney.
Ben Kinney. Brilliant guy. I'll be surprised if they don't have it.
Okay.
Yeah, or if they're not working on updating it or something.
Right.
I mean, they just hired a bajillion developers. So, yeah.
Yeah, so they probably have it. But again, conceptually, if you take shoes as the example, every season Nike uploads a product catalog into Facebook. And then when someone that Facebook has a tracking pixel, Facebook tracks the person on the Nike website, and then Facebook takes that behavior and then shops for new Nikes that are the same size and price and style, pushes them into their news feed. That's what you should be doing with your real estate database. That's how I'm able to keep my database alive. That, and also email marketing has become very important for me, because let's say out of my 200,000 person database, I've got 50,000 leads that have recently been on my website. I'm able to email all 50,000 people from within my CRM. And I'm able to do something like, are you still looking around? And then insert last address viewed. Are you still looking around 123 Smith Street area, ? Now I add the word area because if for some reason the address doesn't show up, I don't want it to read, are you still looking around the ? Right? So now if the address is missing, are you still looking around the area? It doesn't read like I'm an idiot. So you always got to have a plan B with this stuff. But if they just looked at the house yesterday, they're going to remember that address. So instantly I'm relevant. And then the body of the email is really basic. Let me know. I might have seen a few that could work. And then under that, I have another merge field in my CRM that puts the last 5 houses that the lead looked at when they were on my website. It's called a last 5 preview. Now, I don't say I found 5 homes. I don't know what's going to show up. You're emailing 50,000 people, right? I mean, you're going to get all kinds of weird scenarios. When I send an email like that, my database comes to life. Like I haven't even emailed the agents that I just brought on. I haven't sent an email like that because I know I'm not ready. You gotta, because some of these alerts are, John looked at the same house 3 times. And if you're not trained, you're going to be like, who cares? I don't care that John looked at the same house. But see, for us, that's a signal to say, hey, did you ever find a house? Like, that's why we call them, is those dumb little alerts like that. We monetize them.
Wow.
Great.
Yeah, great information, Barry. This is awesome, man. Eric, Jason, you guys have any questions or anything that you're doing that you want to Jason, why don't you start? Like, what are some of the things that Barry's mentioned here that you're doing right now, and to kind of build this, like Barry mentioned, like reactivating all these people all the time and keep them engaged,
So we use GGMS, and they do a pretty good job for us.
Yeah, they're good.
They actually do. So I just cut 148 videos, 15-second videos of me to do the retargeting. So we're still working on chopping that up, but we'll get that rolling here pretty quick.
Do you have that in cooperation with Sierra Interactive?
Yes, we do. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, correct.
Really
Yeah.
good.
And we use actually Follow Up Boss as our CRM.
Okay. So Sierra has dynamic remarketing as well. So you should definitely. So what you're doing is like the content piece, and that's good and it's valuable. I would just tell you that, I mean, don't get me wrong, Jason, you're a sexy dude, but nothing sexier than the house you want to see.
That's
right?
it. That's true.
Yeah. So putting the house that they're looking for in the Facebook newsfeed always makes you relevant. And where we go wrong as agents is we do branding, but branding works in cooperation with putting the product that they want in front of them. It just works better. So I would go to Sierra if I were you, And I would say, hey, I've got this many leads in my system. How much would it cost to remarket to them? In my experience, it's about $100 per 1,000 contacts for dynamic remarketing ads. And Sierra has this technology. I'm very aware of their platform. And then when they do the website, your integration with Follow Up Boss, you should be able to filter all the property saves and property visits and do all the same stuff that I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was actually somewhat encouraged. Other than I don't have the numbers, I mean, I had, but our filters look a little similar to yours, so I was encouraged.
Good, man. Good. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. So the only thing that we did differently, and this is very new, but actually only 2 weeks. So we hired Joseph Lee to handle our pay-per-click.
Oh yeah, he's good.
And well, yeah, he's done pretty good. The only thing he's not a fan of pawns. And so we did make one little change. I have some of my top agents we're almost treating them like ISAs. They get first opportunity to all the new leads.
Mhm.
They have X amount of time to contact them or attempts to contact them, and then they dump them into our pond, if you will, for the rest of the agents to jump in there. Shark Tank.
Well, but do you remember me using the phrase manufactured scarcity?
Yeah.
That's what you did. You just chose a different way to get it done. And so when you're trying to keep what Joseph doesn't want is you're spending all this money and they get put in this like trash heap where nobody cares for them and takes care of them. And so one way to deal with that phenomenon is to have a short list of agents that you know are all hungry. And that works until your business grows to the point where it doesn't. And so all of these like processes that we're discussing as far as lead management and lead distribution, honestly, I change those like people change their socks. I mean, it's my needs change. And so I'm gonna try to take care of it all the best that I can.
Well, I will say we did it based upon nothing other than the consistency of their behavior.
Yeah.
And that's how they earned their way into the first round.
That's great.
And now I've noticed I've got 3 newer agents that are getting very much more consistent because they want to earn their way on the team, if you will.
That's great.
So,
and as long as all of those agents continue to motivate each other by their effort, you'll win. What I do is I have a call every Monday and Friday. I use used to be called Uber Conference. Now it's called, I think, Dialpad Bottom, but they call all my agents on Monday morning and Friday morning at 9 a.m. And what I do is for 30 minutes, I've scanned my CRM before the huddle and I review conversations and appointment outcomes. We have here, I'll show you. So I go into my reporting, and one of the modules for reporting is appointments, and you're able to see my agents are updating their appointments, the outcomes, so that I'm able to see when I go on the huddle, hey, Manuel, tell me about Kenneth Byram's. Looks like you met with them and it was a hot buyer lead. Tell us about it. And so I take people that are crushing it, share the story. They're doing the work. They get the lead. They're going to be able to sell the program better than I could. And so it's like this example hour. And then if I don't have any examples, then I'll just teach or whatever. But that social proof of people that are putting in the work and getting results is one of the most compelling things that I could do. And when I when I bring on a team, normally for at least 3 months, they hate YLOPO leads, they hate PPC. And so I learned the hard way, I don't let them touch any of them. I grab a few motivated people and I make examples out of them. And it's normally not my top agents. It's like that middle tier agent that normally didn't sell a lot, suddenly has 1 or 2 on the board every month. That wins over the middle crop of my agents. And I found my middle tier agent is where I make most of my ROI, because my top agents, by the time they become top agents, they're sphere-based. It's lower splits for me. They don't need my leads as much. But man, that middle tier, maybe 2-3 years in the business and really hungry and motivated, that's where I make all my money. And Eric, actually, I told him, did you end up getting leads from that guy?
I just just actually received them yesterday. Haven't even done anything with them.
So I don't make any money off this. There's no like kickbacks, but Kazoo is a lead gen provider
Mhm.
that has a product that's not on their website. And it's called Legacy Leads. And so what was the cost for your leads, Eric? It's somewhere normally, depending on the market, 60, 80 cents a lead or something.
I got 67 cents.
All right. So you beat them down a little bit. Good job. I'm just kidding. No, but so I'll buy, 4,000 or 5,000 old leads at a time from them, and they're old PPC leads. I take those old PPC leads and I'll just upload them. Same thing I'm sharing with you guys. I'll just upload them, and then 100 to 200 within a week or two will start acting like they're interested. And those are the ones we focus on. The ROI is just insane when you have a marketing system bringing these people back to your website.
Well, I didn't even think about it when I did it, but as I had looked through the, excuse me, as I looked through the list, how many of these people said they owned a home?
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I wasn't expecting that, but
Right.
I like it. So question I have for you in regards to, so just so everybody knows, I recently switched over to Follow Up Boss and Ylopo. I brought my database from Chime. In Chime, I was just putting people in a pond. We're a small team. I was putting people in a pond that were not in, like, not, I don't want to say not interested. They had unsubscribed, or we were just never able to get a hold of them. Like they were quote unquote bad leads, I guess, at that point,
Yeah.
right? So now I've had them in this pond. I've had them on remarketing to see if it would connect now for about 2 months. They're not getting emails because I didn't want to screw up my email. I didn't want to screw up deliverability sending. I've got 1,700 people in there.
Well,
Do I just hold on to them indefinitely, or what do I do with these people? I don't know.
should export them, send them to Ylopo, and say, hey, these are 1,700 leads that are in Ylopo. I want you to turn listing alerts on for all of them. So listing alerts, for most companies, and Ylopo, and I think Sierra and Boomtown would probably be around the same. Our delivery rate for those emails sending listings is like almost 100%, 99.9. And you're going to get a lot of reactions when you do this. Unsubscribe me. Why are you sending this? But you're going to get even more people that reply back and say, can you change my search to this city? And then even more than that, you're going to get people that click the listing alert. They open up the listings. Now they're on your website and they edit the search. Well, if you have dynamic remarketing, think about what happens, right? So I'm going to send these 60,000 people homes in Virginia Beach. The average sales price is like $275. So I'm going to send Virginia Beach homes from 300 to 600,000. Just a great bait, right? Just it's the most popular city in my area. Good priced homes. When they click it and they start changing, oh, I want Chesapeake for $1 million. The ads the next morning are going to be for Chesapeake for $1 million. So you see what starts to happen is you just get them using your stuff. Boomtown, I believe, could do this. I'm pretty sure Sierra can as well. And I apologize, Ron, I'm not trying to hate on Brivity. I just haven't used it as much. I like their transaction management of Brivity is amazing, but we're not talking about transaction management right now.
So I do the same thing for those in the leads I just purchased.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's the whole purpose.
Yeah, just do it all at the
That's
same.
exactly right. Yeah, 100% the same. But then listen, if your agents are not trained to ignore the specifics of the alert, because some of them, they're going to be like, who cares that John came back after 2 weeks of being quiet? They're going to say to themselves, that's not a good lead. And all you're doing is you're saying, just find out if they ever found a home. And if they say they haven't, set an appointment to talk to them and teach them about it. That's it.
All right. So one last question on this, because
Yeah.
Do you have them set it up on a daily email or a weekly? Like is frequency, like I'm just emailing some of these people out of the blue. So is that?
Yeah. If they don't open 4 emails in a row, Ylopo will stop emailing them listings.
Okay.
It's not coming from your email. You don't have to worry. These companies like Boomtown and Sierra, we're going to protect our email reputation. You don't need to worry about that. It has nothing to do with, we're not sending them from your email. We're sending them from ours.
Okay. Well, I was at Chime, it was their email too, but it was the redirect. Yeah, anyways, they were a little more cautious with what we did. I felt as if so.
Well-
But that sounds good. I like the fact I can do the same thing with both lists.
Yeah. Once someone gets used to seeing the emails too, that it's like crack, man. Like I get like 5 Redfin emails a day, like different searches I've set up over time. And like, I don't unsubscribe. I look at all of them when I have time because I'm like, holy shit, look at that house I could buy for like $1 million. That's out of California. And it's like 5,000 square feet. And I keep looking, because that's what I'm interested in. Right. But like, that's what everyone's has their own interest.
Pencils, we wouldn't do that. That's exactly right, Scott. Sorry,
Yeah.
there was a delay. I didn't mean.
No, you're good.
So at some point though, if somebody, let's just say someone's truly not, and they unsubscribe again or whatnot, you just trash them at that point?
I trash 0 people unless they're weird or mean.
I love that answer.
But if they tell me they don't need a house, for us, our stages are the most misused thing with database management. So we're almost out of time, I think, but
Yeah.
Stages are probably what I'll leave you guys with. If you don't have your stages dialed in, you're going to have a problem doing database management. And here's a really great example of why stages don't work for people. For me, stages are linear, and they're linear in regards to the real estate need that the person has. If they need a house, they're hot. If they don't ever need a house, they're not warm, they're not cold, we change them to contact stage. Contact stage for us means when we spoke to them, they advised that they don't need any real estate help. I don't remove them because I know that one day that'll change. That's how you build your database. But where people mess up is they do things like they have a stage called sphere. That doesn't make any sense. Sphere doesn't have anything to do with their real estate need. It's how I know them. And you see where suddenly stages get all jacked up. Called once stage. What's that? That now you've made stages about your agent's effort versus, and I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong. What I'm saying is when you do all of those things, stages are of no use anymore. So pick one. Do you want to make your stages based off of your agent's outreach? Okay, go for it. Do you want to make your stages based off of their real estate need? To me, that's the most logical one, which is why I chose it. But once you do this, then in your situation, Eric, everybody that unsubscribes or says, leave me alone, you can change them to contact stage. And for us, any lead change to contact stage automatically gets reassigned out of the pond and goes into what we call the storage pond. And the storage pond for me has like 80,000 leads that have, something has occurred where they were like, no, thanks. And we change it to contact stage. But then I went into my CRM and said, anytime someone saves a home, looks at a home, shares a home, anytime that happens and they're in the storage pond, automatically reassign it to the priority pond. So now I've got all these old leads I'm running ads to, and the second they even hint at an interest in buying or selling real estate, they're instantly put in my priority pond. Now the priority pond has rules in it. So everyone of my agents that has access to the priority pond, every time 8 leads get assigned to it, they all get a notification. Oh, new leads in the priority pond. You see what I'm doing? I'm creating opportunities within my database without actually having to work, which I'm always into.
Yeah, and you're not spending more money. Right? Like your effort is continuing to build the database bigger and bigger and bigger because all these people eventually are going to do something, or they want to do something. They want to own a home, or they're going to have to sell a home, right?
That's
and
exactly
so
right.
eventually it's just it's just like you have all these rules and automation set up to make sure that when they do something that you don't miss that, right? And you move them to the right place where they're going to get the attention that they need.
Well, and that's why I'm so excited about, it's very rare that someone comes to me and shows me a resource that I have untapped, like, because I really go deep on everything I have. And when Scott, when you came to me, now full disclosure, I have not dialed it in as much as I need to.
Right.
But when Scott said, hey, we got this new contact sync, that is a part of my database that I have not even tried to monetize, not even a little bit. And so if you go into your Google contacts, like we're going over, sorry. But
It's okay. Everyone have a couple more minutes and we'll wrap up.
so when I go into my
Respect your
Gmail
time there.
account,
Okay, cool.
I got Gmail and then contacts. Let's see. Contacts. There it is. So when I go into my Google contacts in one of my emails, let's see. Yeah, it's like 30,000 people. That's just, to me, that's just insane, you know?
Yeah, because if
I got
like,
access-
even if it was like 20% of those aren't in Follow Up Boss yet, and you create a new pond and you dump them in.
That's what I mean. And now make sure though, when you guys do this, that your marketing company knows how to use phone numbers and or email addresses to match a Facebook account. Because if it's just a phone number, but they have to have an email address, those phone number leads are not going to be as valuable. So can you match phone numbers and email addresses to a Facebook account when I upload my database for dynamic remarketing? That way you can get all of them because you want all of them seeing your ads. There's some other stuff that's changed with remarketing over the last year. Facebook removed the typical pixel, the way pixel used to work. Facebook didn't want any part of it anymore. And so
Yeah.
they switched it over to something called Conversion API, which makes all the data recording inside the web browser. So this is a really big deal. You want to make sure that you're not using pixels the way that they were 3 years ago, because that's all being phased out. It's now Conversion API is what Facebook calls it. And they use Google Chrome or Safari or Microsoft Edge. Is Internet Explorer still a thing, or is it now just Edge?
Edge.
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, man, this is fun. I love geeking out with other people that are into this stuff. So thank you for letting me talk to you for a little bit.
Dude,
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on, spending time with us. And yeah, guys, you know where to find Barry. Barry, what's the name of your book again? Just plug it real quick.
Yeah, Too Nice for Sales. One of the few times in my life I was able to get the actual domain. So it's tooniceforsales.com. Yep. But Amazon's the best place to get it. So yeah, is where I would go.
I'm gonna,
All right, guys,
I'm gonna
have a
make
great
my
rest of
team
your
have
day.
have a read on it too, man. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott, it's
Yeah.
always a pleasure. I love what
Yeah.
you're doing. You know, what you guys are trying to build and everything, man. It's awesome. Huge fan of yours. So thanks for having me.
Thanks for being an advocate, Barry. Thanks everyone
buddy.
for being a real Synch client. We'll talk to y'all soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Barry.
Thanks, Barry. Thanks.